Riker almost had a Ferengi girlfriend in Star Trek. TNG Commander William T. Riker, Jonathan Frakes, almost had a Ferengi girlfriend during Star Trek The Next Generation. The Ferengi were introduced as TNG's main antagonists in the Season 1 episode The Last Outpost, but failed to make the same impact as the Klingons did on Star Trek, the original series. While the profit-obsessed villains would recur through every season of Star Trek The Next Generation, it wasn't until the arrival of Quark, Armin Shimerman, in Star Trek Deep Space Nine that the Ferengi would finally achieve their potential. As well as the 15 Star Trek The Next Generation episodes that featured the Ferengi, more were pitched. John Roddenberry conceived a two-parter called Ferengi Gold, which would have seen the Ferengi pose as gods. Ferengi Gold was never made, but story elements were adapted into the Star Trek Voyager episode False Prophets. Two more unmade Ferengi episodes from TNG were later adapted for Star Trek Deep Space Nine's characters, including the storyline involving Riker's Ferengi girlfriend. Gene Roddenberry conceived the Ferengi to be misogynistic and lascivious, and this was reflected in how they treated the female of the species. Hilary Bader pitched an episode called Profit Margin, which would have explored the role of women in Ferengi society. The pitch revolved around a female Ferengi called Pel, who was posing as a male and would become involved with Riker. How involved Pel and Riker would become is unclear, but judging by the Star Trek Deep Space Nine adaptation, it's not a huge stretch to suggest that Pel would become attracted to TNG's number one. Whether Riker would return Pel's affections in Hilary Bader's unmade Star Trek The Next Generation episode isn't known, but given the extensive list of Will Riker's TNG love interests, it's possible that he may have been curious. As Bader joined the writer's room in Season 4, it's interesting to note the similarities between her pitch and the Season 5 episode The Outcast, in which Riker fell in love with a female-identifying alien who defied her society's beliefs. It's possible, therefore, that the core idea of Riker and Pel's relationship influenced one of Star Trek's earliest discussions of gender identity.